We all know how good Dame was for the Blazers, but it appears he could be even better with the Bucks. In just his first game with the Milwaukee Bucks, Damian Lillard put on a masterclass offensively, ending with 39 points, carrying the Bucks to a 118-117 victory over Embiid and Maxey's 76ers. Coming off his best season in the league with averages of 32 points, 7 assists on 46% shooting from the field, he has a real chance to finally pick up that elusive title. Damian Lillard is easily a top 3 shooter in the NBA, walking into downtown bombs and delivering when his teams need it the most. Lillard shoots the ball from 30 feet or more on the regular, as you truly have to guard this man the moment he crosses half court. Dame is no stranger to pull up as far out as the logo to sink a dagger against your favorite team. The best example of his limitless range and clutch shooting is in the opening round of the 2019 first round. Down the stretch of Game 5, Paul George guards Lillard, as he's an elite defender, but even he couldn't stop what was coming. PG waits for Dame to make a move towards the basket, but Dame has other plans as he sidesteps and fires a 3 from 37 feet. Anybody else on this planet would not have taken that shot, but Lillard sinks it, along with the Thunder's hopes to continue their season. The shot was heard all around the world, but he has undoubtedly more playoff games ahead of him, where we could see big moments just like this all over again. Giannis is truly the perfect fit for Damian Lillard, and if you add in Chris Middleton, this big three is scary good. As we all know, Giannis can dominate the paint, while Middleton is one of the best mid-range shooters in the game, and Damian Lillard has his three-point prowess. With these guys not necessarily taking shots from each other and being dominant on different areas of the floor, it makes the Bucks team one of the most dynamic lineups in the league. With other duos in the league such as the Celtics' Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, these two are both knockdown three-point shooters at the small forward position and can both play dependable defense. It sounds good on paper, but the duo is forced to take turns with the ball. With the Bucks duo, it's a guard and a forward, meaning they can run pick and rolls and other plays elevating them both instead of subtracting from each other. For example, in the 1990s, the Utah Jazz had a dynamic duo of Karl Malone and John Stockton. Without each other's presence, Karl Malone wouldn't be top 3 in scoring, and Stockton wouldn't be the all-time assist leader. Malone and Stockton ran the pick and roll to death, and it worked every time, as Malone would either get to the cup or shoot a mid-range jumper, while on the other hand, John Stockton was one of the most effective jump shooters the league has ever seen. As the Bucks duo has a chance to do the same thing. Lillard is an extremely effective jump shooter given the shot selection he takes. When Damian Lillard gets hot, he's absolutely unguardable, pulling up as far as half court. As in the previous season, he dropped a staggering 71 points on the Houston Rockets. The game starts off with Lillard basically scoring at will out of the gate, hitting deep threes and getting anywhere he pleases on the court. The most impressive moment from this game was with 19 seconds still remaining on the shot clock, he pulls up from the logo and buries it for 39 points before the first half is done. By the time Dame ends the game, he has a ridiculous 71 points to his name. The performance somewhat goes under the radar due to Donovan Mitchell's 71-point performance a month prior. However, what people fail to recognize is that Damian Lillard's game was so much more impressive than Mitchell's, as Donovan Mitchell required overtime to get his points. Damian Lillard will be a great fit with the Bucks due to his expertise running the pick and roll. What will make his pick and rolls with Giannis so special is how much space they will give each other. Dame only requires a fraction of space, as on this play with Drew Eubanks, he sets a high pick and roll and Dame nonchalantly pulls up from way beyond the line and hits it like it's a layup. Dame's otherworldly long-range shooting paired with Giannis's ability to get downhill and finish over anybody is going to make them unguardable as long as Lillard can make the right read. The Bucks should look to run this play every second to third time they're in possession, as it's going to be almost like changing the difficulty in 2K, as this pick and roll could alter the league. Opposing teams are going to be praying that Lillard has an off shooting night whenever the Bucks are in town. On any given night, Giannis or Dame could explode for 40+ points, with the ability to carry their team to victory if the other one begins to struggle. This kind of offensive pairing could make them an unstoppable force come playoff time when the games matter the most. The underrated part of Damian Lillard's game is how good he is at rolling around screens to get an open look. The most similar player to Lillard in the NBA today is undoubtedly Stephen Curry. Like Curry, the shot making, ball handling, and gravity that they demand is very similar to Lillard, while the most overlooked part of their game is their finishing abilities. Curry has been an elite finisher for his size throughout his time in the league, but Lillard is right behind him. Damian Lillard had his best season finishing around the cup that he's ever had in his career, as he shot 2-point baskets at a 57% clip, as his quickness allows him to blow by his defender and get downhill for some vicious jams. His playmaking has always been very good, averaging 7.4 assists per game throughout the 2023 NBA season. With the departure of Drew Holiday, the Bucks are expecting Lillard to make plays for Giannis, and most importantly, give it his all on the defensive side of the floor. Damian Lillard has publicly said that his defense hasn't been at the level that he's capable of. As with the Blazers, he had to use all of his energy on offense. But with Middleton and Antetokounmpo taking the pressure off his shoulders, he'll have more energy on that side of the floor. Damian Lillard averaged a steal per game last season, as he is accustomed to getting into the passing lanes and getting deflections. After his 39-point masterclass in the first game, he only managed to put up 6 points versus the Atlanta Hawks in Game 2. This can be attributed to Lillard not being able to play any 5v5 over the summer due to the trade request and not wanting to risk getting hurt. So far, his threes have been missing short, as he will need to play his way back into shape. As in his third game against Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat, Lillard finished the game with 25 points, shooting a much more efficient 7 for 14 from the field. As every game passes, Damian Lillard gets closer to his peak form, making the Bucks more and more unstoppable. And as time goes on, first-time head coach Adrian Griffin will find out how he can make some better plays for the tandem of Lillard and Antetokounmpo? Do the Bucks have the best duo in the NBA, and will Lillard retire as a champion? I look forward to hearing from you in the comments below.